The rain was pounding my windshield when my life changed forever. I was 35, driving home with the biggest news of my life, an $11 million inheritance from my uncle, when a truck swerved into my lane and everything went black. I woke up in a hospital bed, my body screaming in pain, expecting my husband Samuel to be there, holding my hand. But he wasn't. Days later, when he finally walked in with his new wife, she took one look at me and screamed words that shattered my world. If you're watching this, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know where you're tuning in from as I share how my life unraveled and somehow stitched itself back together. I'm Hannah, and back then, I was a dreamer trapped in a practical life. Growing up in rural Virginia, I'd always loved words, writing stories, journaling, dreaming of being a journalist. But my family was strict, old school, and when I got pregnant at 18, they were mortified. "You'll ruin your future," my mom said, her voice sharp with panic. They sent me to an aunt in Maryland, arranged a closed adoption, and I held my baby girl just once before she was gone. I buried that pain deep, locking it away in a mental box I swore never to open. Years later, I moved to Richmond, met Samuel at an art gallery, and fell hard. He was a painter, all charisma and passion, talking about his art like it could change the world. We married in a small park ceremony, promising to chase our dreams together. I swapped journalism for a stable advertising job to keep us afloat while Samuel chased galleries. Our apartment was tiny, but we filled it with love, or so I thought. The last 2 years, though, Samuel changed. His paintings weren't selling, and he grew distant, snapping at me, disappearing for hours. "I need space to create," he'd say, brushing off my worries about our dwindling savings. My uncle was the opposite of close family. He and my dad had a falling out over their real estate business when I was a kid, splitting our family in two. But I remembered visiting his Shenandoah Valley estate as a child, his library of rare books, his stories of building his empire. He was a loner, never married, but he'd send me birthday cards after I moved out, scribbling little notes about life and business. I'd reply politely, unsure how to connect across the family rift. Then, one spring, I heard he was sick, heart disease. I started visiting him in the hospital, and we talked for hours, like old friends catching up. "You've got my stubborn streak," he'd say, his eyes twinkling despite his frailty. When he passed away a few months later, I grieved harder than I expected. That day, I was at my desk in Richmond when Thomas, my uncle's attorney, called. "Hannah, can you come to my office? It's about your uncle's estate." I figured it'd be a small keepsake, maybe a book from his collection. Instead, Thomas slid a will across his desk. My uncle left me everything, $11 million, plus his estate. A letter in his handwriting came with it. "Hannah, you've got the heart and grit I wish I'd had. Use this wisely. Live fully. Love, your uncle." I was dizzy with shock. This could erase our debts, let Samuel paint without stress, maybe even let us start a family. I bought a sleek watch for Samuel, a symbol of our fresh start, and headed home, my heart racing with plans. The rain started as I hit the highway, a soft patter that matched my humming along to the radio. I pictured Samuel's face when I'd hand him the watch, tell him about the $11 million, how we could finally breathe. My mind was so wrapped up in that moment that I barely noticed the truck 2 lanes over until it swerved, its trailer swinging toward me like a giant fist. I yanked the wheel, but the crash was instant, metal screaming, my car spinning, the watch flying across the dashboard. Darkness swallowed me. I woke to beeping monitors and a sterile hospital smell. My body felt like it had been shattered, ribs burning, leg throbbing, head pounding. "Easy, Hannah," a nurse named Claire said, her voice calm but firm. "You're in Richmond General. You've been out for 2 days." 2 days? I tried to sit up, wincing. "My husband, does Samuel know I'm here?" Claire's face tightened. "We called the emergency contact in your phone. Left messages. He hasn't come yet." Her words stung, but I told myself he was probably caught up in a project. Dr. Bennett came later, listing my injuries like a grim checklist: 3 broken ribs, a concussion, a compound leg fracture needing surgery, and cuts everywhere. "You're lucky to be alive," he said. "The truck driver wasn't." Lucky didn't feel like the right word as I lay there, alone, my phone silent. I called Samuel's number, but it went to voicemail. Texts went unanswered. Each unanswered call twisted the knot in my stomach tighter. Claire became my anchor, sneaking me pudding cups, sitting with me when her shift ended. Still no word? She asked on day 3, her brow furrowed. I shook my head, pain shooting through me. He'd know I didn't come home. Something's wrong. By day 4, a text from Samuel finally came. Heard about accident. Busy with big project. Will visit soon. No questions about me, no warmth, just cold words. Claire read it and frowned. This isn't right, Hannah. I called my friend Sophie, hoping for answers, but she sounded off, dodging questions about Samuel. I'm swamped, Hannah. I'll visit soon, she mumbled before hanging up. My gut churned. Something was very wrong. Using Claire's tablet, I checked Samuel's social media and froze. He'd posted from the Willow Gallery in Richmond, a ritzy art spot, with a caption about new beginnings. In the photo, his arm was around a young woman, dark hair, stylish dress, smiling like they'd known each other forever. My hands shook as I dialed his number again. He answered, music blaring in the background. Samuel, I'm in the hospital. A week. Where are you? A long pause. I'm busy, Hannah. Moving forward with my life. His voice was ice. Some of us don't have time for losers. The line went dead. Loser? I was his wife, fighting for my life, with $11 million waiting. Tears burned my eyes as Claire found me, her face hardening. We're getting you help, Hannah. This isn't just neglect. The days after Samuel's call were a fog of pain, physical and emotional. I stopped eating, barely slept, and cried until my eyes were dry. 7 years of marriage, and he'd called me a loser while I lay broken in a hospital bed. Claire called in Dr. Rachel, a psychologist with a no-nonsense warmth. You're facing layered trauma, she said. The accident, Samuel's betrayal, it's a lot. Let's work through it. I blurted out the question that haunted me. Did he know about the money? She frowned. What money? I hadn't told anyone about the inheritance. It felt irrelevant next to my shattered life. But now, I wondered. I inherited $11 million the day of the crash, I said. I was going to tell Samuel. Her eyes widened. That changes things. Sophie finally visited, looking guilty with a wilted bouquet. You look rough, she said, then winced. Sorry. I cut to the chase. What's going on with Samuel? She fidgeted, avoiding my eyes. He's with someone else, Hannah. A woman named Lila. He's been saying you didn't make it. My heart stopped. He's telling people I'm dead? She nodded, tears spilling. He held a memorial at your apartment. I didn't go, thought it was weird. She showed me an Instagram post, Samuel and a young woman, Lila, at the Willow Gallery, clinking champagne. Lila's face stirred something in me. Her eyes, her posture, felt eerily familiar. There's more, Sophie whispered. People say they got married last weekend. At the courthouse. Married. My husband had declared me dead and married another woman. The betrayal was a physical ache, worse than my broken ribs. Claire stepped in as my heart monitor spiked, ushering Sophie out. You need a lawyer, she said firmly. This is fraud. I called Thomas, my uncle's attorney, who sounded grim. Samuel came to my office, claiming you died. Brought fake death certificates and a woman he called your sister, demanding the inheritance. I don't have a sister, I said, my voice hollow. Her name was Lila. French last name. The pieces were falling together, and they were ugly. That night, I barely slept, my mind racing. How did Samuel know about the money? Why Lila? And why did her face haunt me? I had a sickening theory. Years ago, when we moved apartments, Samuel found a memory box I'd hidden, a hospital bracelet, a baby hat, a photo from when I was 18, holding my newborn daughter. Had he pieced it together? Was Lila my daughter? The thought was too wild, too painful to hold. I needed answers, and I needed them now. With Claire's help, I set up a small camera in my hospital room, hidden in a flower vase. Using Sophie's phone, I texted Samuel. I know about the inheritance. Hannah's awake and remembers everything. Fix this. His reply was instant. We'll handle it today. Delete this. My heart pounded. but I was ready. Claire propped me up in bed, making me look weaker than I felt. Dr. Rachel coached me, "Stay calm. You're in control." Thomas arrived, briefcase in hand, sitting quietly by the window, out of sight. The knock came that afternoon. My pulse spiked, but I kept my face neutral. Samuel walked in, wearing a slick blazer and a flashy watch I'd never seen. His artist scruff was gone, replaced by a polished look that screamed money. His eyes met mine, not with relief, but irritation, quickly hidden behind a fake smile. "Hannah, you're awake. We've been so worried." "We?" I asked, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. He gestured to the doorway, and a woman stepped forward, Lila. Her dark hair and sharp cheekbones hit me like a punch. She looked like me, younger, but with my mother's features. "You remember Lila, your cousin's daughter?" Samuel said smoothly. I stayed silent, watching him play the caring husband. "The doctors said your memory might be spotty," he went on, pulling papers from his pocket. "I brought forms to manage your affairs while you recover. It's a lot to handle in your state." His concern was a performance, but I saw the greed in his eyes. "You mean the $11 million? I said bluntly. He froze, then recovered. "A blessing, but stressful. I just want to help." "Like you helped by saying I was dead? Changing our locks? Marrying her?" I nodded at Lila, who looked nervous. Samuel's mask slipped. "You're confused, Hannah. Gossip isn't good for you." Thomas stood, startling him. "Thomas, Hannah's attorney. And you're the husband trying to steal her inheritance." He played security footage from his office, Samuel and Lila, presenting fake documents. "Enough." Samuel snapped, reaching for the tablet. Claire blocked him. "Security's outside." Lila stepped closer, her eyes locked on mine, confusion turning to shock. "Oh my God," she whispered, her voice breaking. "You're my mother." The room froze. Samuel grabbed her arm. "Stick to the plan." But Lila pulled away, fumbling in her purse for a worn photo, a teenage me, holding a newborn. "My newborn. I've carried this my whole life," she said, tears streaming. "The only clue to my birth mother." My hands shook as I took the photo. I was 18, scared, holding her for the last time. "Where did you get this?" I asked. "It came with me when I was adopted," Lila said. "I've been searching for you." Samuel tried to interrupt, but I cut him off. "Quiet, Samuel." I looked at Lila, seeing my eyes in hers. I was 18, a high school senior. My boyfriend bailed, my parents were ashamed. They sent me to an aunt, arranged the adoption. "I held you once." This photo, I thought it was gone. Lila sat on my bed, stunned. "Eric found me 3 months ago at the gallery. Said he knew my birth mother, that you wanted to reconnect." I glared at Samuel. "You found my memory box. The bracelet, the hat, this photo." His silence was confirmation. Thomas spoke up. "You used Lila to claim the inheritance. The will gives it to Hannah, but if she died, it'd go to her child or her child's husband." Lila turned to Samuel, horrified. "You used me. Said you loved me." Samuel sneered. "You wanted your mother, I got you money. Win-win." I shook my head. "You declared me dead, married my daughter, all for cash." Thomas added, "We've got evidence, forged documents, this recording, bigamy. You're done." Security stepped in, and Samuel's charm crumbled as they cuffed him. "Hannah, we can fix this," he pleaded, but I waved him away. "Take him." After Samuel's arrest, the hospital room felt quieter, but the weight of 17 years hung between Lila and me. "I never stopped thinking about you," I told her, my voice cracking. "Not a day." She took my hand, her eyes soft. "I don't hate you. I just want to know you." That moment was the start of something fragile but real. The legal mess unraveled fast. Thomas found Samuel had forged emails and bank access attempts, building a case for fraud, bigamy, and even suspicion of tampering with my medications before the crash. Detective Carter showed me a bottle of sedatives in my name, filled days before the accident. "We're looking into whether he drugged you," she said. The thought chilled me. Had Samuel planned to get rid of me even before the money? He was sentenced to 8 years, and I felt only relief, not vengeance. Lila's marriage to Samuel was annulled. invalid since ours was still legal. We started building our relationship slowly, awkwardly at first. I told her about my teenage years, the shame and fear that led to her adoption. She shared her life with her adoptive parents, kind people, a teacher and a librarian who loved her fiercely. "They want to meet you," she said one day. I was terrified, but when we met at the estate, they hugged me. "We were just keeping her safe for you," her mom said. I cried, grateful for their grace. We moved to my uncle's Shenandoah Valley estate, a grand Victorian I was making my own. Ramps and grab bars made it livable as I healed, crutches replacing my wheelchair. Lila quit her gallery job, too tainted by Samuel, and enrolled in psychology at a nearby university, studying adoption reunions. "There's room here while you figure it out," I told her. She smiled, and we started finding our rhythm, her morning singing, my coffee obsession, our shared love of sunsets on the porch. Physical therapy was brutal, but Lila cheered every step, bringing cupcakes for milestones. Dr. Rachel's video sessions helped us navigate our bond. "Take it slow," she advised. We did movie nights, cooking disasters, walks around the estate's gardens. One spring evening, Lila asked to meet her adoptive parents again. They came, and we laughed over tea, planning holidays together. Their warmth made our family bigger, not smaller. I started writing, pouring my pain into a novel. It wasn't just therapy, it was purpose. The estate bloomed under our care, a garden we planted together mirroring our growth. With Thomas's help, we launched a foundation in my uncle's name, supporting young mothers and ethical adoptions. Lila's studies fed into it, her passion lighting up our mission. A year after the crash, we hosted a gathering at the estate. Claire, Thomas, Detective Carter, Dr. Rachel, Sophie, Lila's parents. Over dinner, I toasted to surviving crashes and finding home. Later, Lila and I sat on the porch, stars above us. "Do you regret it?" she asked. "The pain, Samuel, all of it?" I shook my head. "It brought me you." The money showed Samuel's true colors, but it also gave us freedom to rebuild. She leaned against me, and I felt whole. Thank you for listening to my story. If it moved you, please hit like and subscribe for more stories of resilience. Share your own journey in the comments. Have you ever turned betrayal into something beautiful? Let's inspire each other.